Hello, and welcome to the course overview and Module 1 training video as part of the Sustainable Futures CPD series. This set of training videos are aimed to equip you to deliver the Sustainable Futures course confidently and will support you to understand the resources available to you. We recommend having the Sustainable Futures Handbook with you for reference, and this is accessed through the Sustainable Futures website. The aim of the CPD video is to provide a practical overview of the Sustainable Futures course and supporting materials to enable you to confidently deliver the course. Having completed the CPD, you should be able to describe the structure of the Sustainable Futures course, explain the key concepts covered, plan and deliver course content in a way that suits you and your institution, and know how to evaluate student learning and progress whilst delivering the course content. As well as providing an overview of the course and associated resources, in this video, we will focus on Module 1. It will include an overview of the key objectives and concepts explored in this module, show the associated resources for specific activities, provide detail of assessment methods, and highlight links to the other areas of the course and wider programme. There are separate training videos for Modules 2 and 3, which you can access from the Sustainable Futures website. The Sustainable Futures course is one part of a wider Sustainable Futures programme. It is intended that the course will be delivered in conjunction with the other elements of the programme, to include input from a visiting business speaker and an experience of the workplace. The course content, together with the wider programme experiences, enables students to develop the knowledge, skills and confidence needed to begin planning their sustainable future. Flexibility is key with the course, and it has been designed to work in different settings, in different formats, with different groups of young people. It is modular, consisting of 3 modules, which are broken down into 3 to 4 units each. Each unit is about 30 minutes, with each module containing around 2 hours worth of content. This structure provides the flexibility for content to be delivered as longer modules or shorter individual units. Each module acts as a building block for the next. Students gain knowledge of the fundamentals of sustainability, build understanding of the role of businesses, and finally reflect on their own skills and values, applying them to shape their career pathway. A key outcome for students is to consider all careers as sustainable, not just those that are typically seen as green. Sustainability can be brought into any role that they choose and should frame decisions and not limit their options. Students who complete the course will receive a certificate, and details about this can be found on our website. It is worth noting here that there is a lot of content available, and these timings are guidelines. Often students want to explore topics further and they get caught up in the discussions. We have provided optional extra content if you have the time, and you can adapt the plans to suit your style of delivery and learners. We have identified 10 skills and competencies that shape the activities in the course. Every aspect of the Sustainable Futures course is designed to nurture one or more of these key skills and competencies, and the evaluation framework assesses against them. The skills are linked in the course resources and used to frame student reflection exercises. Our programme skills are aligned to the essential employment skills expected to be most in demand in the future labour market, as well as a foundational knowledge of sustainability that will be required to help the transition to the green economy. Before we look in detail at the content of Module 1, I'll provide an overview of the course resources available to you. To support delivery, the programme handbook acts as a complete guide to the course. It includes notes for each unit as well as the resources you'll need to run the activities so that you can prepare in advance. The detailed session plans contain full scripts and activity guides for delivering the content. Session plan notes include key terminology definitions, instructions and answers for activities, when to play videos, and how to lead discussions. They also include optional activities which can be used to deepen understanding or to provide extra clarification where needed. Sessions have been developed to be picked up and used alongside the activity sheets and an accompanying slide deck with minimal preparation. However, we acknowledge that there may be some adaptation needed on how the course is being delivered and the needs of your individual learners. Videos are used throughout the course to support delivery. They are short, no more than a few minutes, and enable you to build confidence with unfamiliar topics and ensure key messaging has been conveyed in a way that you are happy with. Here is an example of the accompanying slides. There are script notes for every slide that is duplicate of the information on the session plans in the handbook, so you have it to hand when delivering. The slides are labelled with the relevant module and unit number to make it as clear as possible where you are in the course. Included in the course materials is a reflection journal for students to build a log of key thought processes and reflections from one unit to the next. The journal includes a content question for each unit, alongside a reflection prompt linked to attitudes, values, and behaviours that students will bring together as they shape their career pathway in the final module. As well as looking at how content is delivered, it is really important to assess whether it's actually been of value. We have built in key components of each unit which are designed to enable you to assess how your students have engaged. Each module is framed by a set of learning objectives, and guidance on evaluation of learners' progress against these can be found at the end of each module in the course handbook. This is shown here on the right. It provides a clear description of what you want students to be able to do, so what skills and competencies you would want students to demonstrate, and how they would be best to do that in their responses to that exercise. Key activities in each unit, described on the assessment page, provide opportunities to assess whether the intended knowledge, skills, and values can be demonstrated by students. Individual assessment can be made through the conversations with students and based on notes from their reflection journals. An example is shown on the left, along with some example guidance for the reflection journal from the session plan. We'll now take a detailed look at Module 1. This module covers the basic concepts of sustainability. It covers the principles of sustainability and its importance to our survival and well-being. The module also considers how the interconnections within and between natural and human systems can help us build a sustainable future. The module is comprised of 4 units: what is sustainability, sustainable values, the Sustainable Development Goals, and systems thinking for sustainability. The aims of the module are displayed on screen. There is one for each unit. And by the end of the module, students should be able to demonstrate understanding of the link between natural systems and human development, evaluate personal values in relation to sustainability, explain the purpose of the SDGs and how they are connected, and explain the difference between linear and systems thinking. These objectives are listed along with the aims in the course handbook and the slide deck. So the first unit introduces sustainability with a strong focus on foundational knowledge, as it lays the foundation for learning and skills development that will take place through the rest of the course. The unit starts off with a concept for the entire course, which is, what do we actually mean by sustainability? It is an important discussion point, as the term sustainability is used so much by companies, in the media and politics, that students will have heard the term in different contexts without perhaps a proper explanation. The first activity is focused on defining sustainability and asks students to consider what sustainability means before exploring the UN definition. There is an opportunity for small group discussion to think about what we mean by needs and what those things are that are compromising us meeting those needs in the future. There are lots of examples in the notes to bring into the discussion here. The second activity explores the idea of a footprint and how the term is used to describe someone or something's impact on the planet. In this context, a footprint means how much of the planet's resources are needed to reverse the impact that we have. Students consider what activities contribute to an individual's carbon footprint and suggest ways of reducing it. And the unit contains some surprising facts too. This section concludes with a video about the Anthropocene, the age of the humans, to show how people are impacting the environment. Here are the learning objective guidance for this unit. The skills focus is on foundational knowledge and the open-mindedness, with the carbon footprint activity providing assessment opportunity alongside the reflection journal. The reflection journal assesses knowledge gain through a definition, and the reflection questions are linked to attitudes and behaviours that impact the environment based on the carbon footprint activity. The second unit covers sustainable values, what they mean in practice, and how they guide our decisions, including those linked to careers. Students are supported to identify what is really important to them and how they can apply this to their decision-making around careers. The unit includes a number of inspiring case studies of people who come from different backgrounds and made different decisions, but who have all been guided in different ways by a really clear set of values. Case studies are used throughout the course to bring the content to life and support application of knowledge and skills. The skills focus for Unit 2 is on adaptability and empathy, with values discussions providing an assessment opportunity. The reflection journal can be used as a place for students to note down their values following that activity, and the questions are focused on how students can live by their values. There are no activity sheets for Unit 1 and 2. Activities can be completed using mini whiteboards, in notebooks, on A3 or flip chart paper, or using post-it notes, whatever suits your style. Unit 3 introduces the Sustainable Development Goals, or SDGs. These are the 17 goals that have been set by the UN as things we need to deliver by 2030 if we want to have a future that's fair, just, and comfortable for everyone on the planet. You may be familiar with and use them already in schools, although there is no curriculum obligation to do so currently. The SDGs are key to being able to unpick how sustainability works in practice, so not just what a sustainable future would look like, but what that means in terms of how we get there. The unit starts by asking students what goals they would have for the sustainable world before introducing the SDGs. There is plenty of information in the session notes to back up these discussions if you are not familiar with the goals. There is a supportive and informative video to introduce what the Sustainable Development Goals are, and students are then asked to consider how they might prioritise the goals. The main activity with the SDGs is a grouping exercise, where students can sort and find categories to apply when grouping SDGs. That leads onto the wedding cake model. The outcome of this activity is for students to understand how connected the SDGs are, and that we need to meet some before we are able to meet others. The activity sheet for this unit is the SDG card sort that contains cards for all 17 goals. These can be used ideally in pairs and include descriptions of each goal. There are different versions of the goal cards available online without the description if that is preferred. This is one area of the course where a further research activity could work well if you have the time or have an option of setting homework. Students could choose an SDG to research in more depth and find organisations that are working towards meeting their chosen goals. The SDG activities provide a lot of opportunity for students to demonstrate their skills, and so there are plenty of assessment opportunities. The 6 skills developed in this unit are shown here and focus on the knowledge gained through exploring the SDGs, and how well students consider connections between them and communicate their ideas. The reflection journal provides a space for students to bring their thoughts together about which SDGs mean most to them, and this is another ideal assessment opportunity. The reflection questions encourage students to consider their own lives and how the SDGs are relevant. The last unit in this module is all about systems thinking. This is another term that is mentioned a lot, and the unit is designed to explain it in a way that makes sense to young people. It starts by looking at the theory of a system, how many parts make up a thing. The parts on their own don't work, but together they create a function. The bicycle is worked through as an example, and the application of a system is in the form of a school, so familiar to students. The main part of the unit is looking at what all of this means in terms of solving problems. The examples are solving environmental problems caused by unsustainable living, in particular the mass unsustainable impact of business. The example uses linear thinking to come up with a solution and demonstrates the limits. You can't come up with a solution, or you can, but it doesn't necessarily solve the problem as it's focused on one part of a larger system. It then considers the systems thinking way of looking at a problem, which is to look at the interconnections and how complex they are through a connection circle. You can see the lines that join the parts of the system where there is a connection and an effect. Students consider what parts make up the system, how they impact each other, and then they can start thinking about potential solutions and the impact they have across the system. This deeper critical thinking is similar to what students did with the SDGs, so the foundational knowledge in the previous unit supports the thinking here. Students have chance to apply systems thinking into other scenarios. The outcome of the activity is to better understand the complexities of a system and how students may be able to influence them in the future. The activity sheet for this unit is a template connection circle, but you may wish to do this on a larger scale or get students to draw their own. Here are the learning objective assessment guidance. The skills focus is on systems and critical thinking and applying these to problem solving. The connection circle activity and discussions provide assessment opportunities. The reflection journal has space for students to consider a systems example more relevant to them, again providing opportunity to assess understanding. The reflection questions are focused around problem solving and considering how obstacles could be overcome on a personal level. And we are now at the end of our detailed look at Module 1. We hope this video has been a useful introduction to the course as part of the wider programme, has provided you with a helpful oversight of the resources available to you, and has also built confidence with delivering Module 1 of the course through this detailed walkthrough. The next training video in the Sustainable Futures CPD series is for Module 2 of the course, and it can be accessed through the Sustainable Futures website.